Good morning, it's Carrie. Today we are going on a peak bagging mission. So in Vancouver, North Shore Mountains, there is a yearly competition called the Peak Baggers Challenge. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of background on that today after I meet my group and we head out into the North Shore Mountains. We're gonna bag a couple peaks, including Capilano, which will be the main one. And I'm meeting a good group of friends here shortly. So I'll give you a whole background on what the Peak Bagger Challenge is and why we get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go meet friends before sunrise on a perfectly decent weekend day. All right, so we got Ellie in the car as well. We are gonna hit a trailhead which is not that much used, so it's gonna be a tiny little area. So when you're doing these peak bagging things, often you're accessing a place that people don't normally go, so your parking area, oh good, we actually have some space here too. This is ideal. No cars!
Oh,
one car who's obnoxiously parked in a method that limits where other cars can park. That's not good. But we will all meet, head out, and this is our spot. Obscure trailhead. So we got John strapping on his pack. Ellie is showing cat pictures to people. Yeah, there's Rowan right there. Look at that little. So cute. And we got Bill and Susan. Poor Rowan's gonna have to survive the day while we head out peak bagging. So I'm doing a bit of a video today talking about exactly what peak bagging is and why a bunch of idiots park here and then hike for 12 hours or however long it's gonna be. Discussion about maybe touching the water, the sea, which is right over there, because that would technically count as a water bag, meaning you go from the sea to the summit, but only for one of the summits. So could have one water bag, but we're not going to do that. Oh, going down to the water.
Well, as long as we come back up. Right?
Oh yeah.
The full set.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah, so if we're early, all right, Bill, I think you're the only one officially in it, right?
Yes.
You're not. Yeah.
Not in the water bag.
Johnny, you're not doing a. No. Ellie's not. I'm not.
Unofficial.
Unofficial.
Yeah.
So we're all here to support you, Bill. So with the peak bagging, sometimes there's this remote approach where you're not quite on the trail yet, which is what we got going here. It'll be a little while before we hit the proper trail, and then it's going to be rough. But it's neat to see some of the forest roads you wouldn't ordinarily get to see. Oh, look at that. There's our swimming hole for the return. These mountain roads sometimes take casualties like this camper down here, an emergency shelter that is just, yeah, nobody rescued that.
Fix the vent on the top there. You could have it as an emergency shelter.
So with the Bagger Challenge, so Bill, you're officially in it. How many peaks are in the Bagger Challenge right now?
There are, I believe, 83.
And when you first started?
When I first started, it was in low 50s.
So they've added a whole lot of peaks. And there's actual managing committee and a Facebook group. There's certain patron saints like Dave Carrera and Ian Jackson, and who else is anybody else?
Well, Steve White is looking after it now.
Steve White is currently. So here's the deal. At a certain time of the year, they open the season for peak bagging. And some peaks, some subsection of the peaks are open before the snow is all gone. And then a little further down, they open up more. And then the 3 tranches, they open up the last tranche, and then it's game on until they deem it unsafe to continue, meaning there's a bunch of snow. So everybody goes out and tries to hit as many of these as they can, collecting points. Some people do all 83 of them, or 84, however many there are right now. in one season, which is a lot. And you just record each peak according to its 3-letter code, like an airport. And there are certain things you can do to increase your points, like doing the water bag. You start from the water and then go to the top of a mountain. If you do that, you get a little star next to it. So if there's a tie, that star puts you above the person who doesn't have a star. Now, some people have stars on almost everything, but it's a little tricky because we're doing 4 peaks today. I think 4? Yeah, 4 peaks today. And we would have to go back down to the water every time to get a water bag. But you can also get a star by doing trail maintenance. So if you come up and you work at least an hour on the trail, cut away, build a bridge, clear rocks, debris, then you get a star as well. So it's a nice give back to the community if you do that type of thing. And at the end of the season, you know, there's a ranking and some recognition, right?
Yes. The top male, top female, the top under 16
for the kids.
I think there's even an under 8 category now or something like that.
And then it starts all over again next year. But then there's a thing called being a completist, meaning at some point, not necessarily in one calendar year, you've done all of them, but you have to record them pretty faithfully. So we're off track. Everybody's huddled around Bill's guy here, looking at where we're supposed to be. So we're supposed to be up there, but probably coming at it from the other side. So we may be running back a couple miles, but that's the way it works sometimes. We have found our thing. The funny thing is we came by here and the comment was made, oh look, flagging. So this is our route. This is the obvious route we missed. All part of the fun. Although now I've got mine out right now, so I can take a look, get my phone going here, and you can see the diversion. So we follow this furry downing road up, and
it's just like culvert flagging.
Yeah, we're good. A beautiful piece of connecting trail here to get to where we ultimately have to do the real climbing for this particular thing. Tiny bit of flagging, although I don't know if that's for what this is, but there's some here and there. Well, someone has stashed their bikes at the side of the trail. It looks like a bit of a debris chute that's come down. I don't know if this is the turn up or not. So this is just a probably springtime some year. This whole pile of rubble just came down. I think we can go right around. The trail will continue over there. So the trail has gotten to be a nice single track, which will be good for coming down afterwards. We gotta look for a turn off to the right when we hit the next little creek bed, which won't be too far up. So, and then we'll be on the proper adventurous stuff. Boy, this trail is fantastic. It's not traveled a lot, but just enough for it to be pretty clear where you need to go. It's pretty steep, but not ridiculous. So you could probably tippy-tap run down this thing. The roots are almost forming a staircase for us. You got ferns, moss. It's like a Disney set. Terrain is changing, and we're seeing a bit of sun, which we'll get in a bit, but the path continues to be delightful. So with all the peaks that are identified, they're all confined in a certain area. So you could do this in another spot. You might not be able to do water bags if there's no ocean nearby, but you could set up a whole system where you have this community that are all going out and tagging peaks on weekends or weekdays or whenever. It's really a nice endeavor. We lost everybody now. They're just in the blueberry bushes. There are these amazing bushes just filled with blueberries, and they are fresh wild blueberries that are just freaking delicious. And we're also getting to a bit more of a clearing, and it's just a moss-covered wonderland. There's a lake up here called Beth Lake that looks maybe swimmable at some point. I don't know if we do it this early because we'll hit a couple other lakes. So this is continuing to be quite the charming trail. Oh, that is the lake right there.
That's Beth Lake, yeah.
Wow. That is a beauty. Look at that. And these are probably the peaks we're going to around there. Wow, look at these.
Blueberries get even bigger here.
Look at this. Oh man. Look at the clearness of the water. So these are our peaks. It takes quite a while to get up here, and then we're gonna go around, do a bit tour of the peaks. Well, there is actually flagging right here. That's in a pretty remote place. We got some grumbling because there's so much ribbon here. It's a pretty easy trail compared to a lot of the places around here. Not traveled too often, but someone has gone hog wild on the pink flagging in places. But it's not often that you need this much, especially if you're someone who's back here. And it's like flagging, 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 flagging on an obvious trail. Maybe it's a bit much. Although, you don't know where you're going. Now we're following this beautiful little stream. Not really flowing very much, but it's beautiful clear water, and heading to the peak up in front. So doing this in the summer in Vancouver is fantastic, but winter you can get to a lot of these places as well. It's totally different, like a magical kingdom. We got a cairn here instead of tons and tons of pink flagging. So I'll be interested to see how all these link together. Very still day. A few clouds have popped out. I flew the drone for a minute, but it wasn't really responding to the signals, which is sort of weird. And for the first time, I crashed it into a tree close by. I flew it back over to where I was, but it wasn't going over 12 feet high, saying it was at its maximum height, which is very strange. And then when you give it no input, it's supposed to hover, but it was not doing that today. It was continuing forward. So very minor. Hit some thin branches and came down in a blueberry bush. That is a pretty picture with the peak in it. I'm looking back down towards the lake. We are getting into some territory that has much smaller trees. So different latitudes, you've got a tree line at different areas. So once we hit probably 1,700, 1,650 meters, so 5,800, 5,500 feet, it turns into more of an alpine area, which is kind of cool. Working our way up this big rock shield onto this ridge line to get up to that peak. It is a beautiful day. Probably a little over 5,000 feet right now, or 1,600 meters. That is Sky Pilot over there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well established it is.
Or
what if we do that on the way back, or is that going to be a long ways around? We could, but I got us
getting
like
bugs that just flew into our eyes
from the peak right now. Oh,
Yeah, but we have to come back
it's got
this
to be
way.
up here then. Yeah, what if it's that close? It's just
the peak on the
well, I guess you
way
have to go back.
to Cap Mountain is not a major
We
one.
do have to go back to that point.
So the peak bagging
Wasn't on the way back.
ethos
so-
is
Let's just do that. We'll continue on. If we don't see something off to the left, we'll just
Do it
when
on
we
the
get
way
to
back.
that point on the way back, then we'll
get up to Beth.
Yeah, better than backtrack. Yeah. Twice.
All right, make it so. Connecting the dots, because last weekend we were on those peaks over there, the Scottish peaks, the Whiskey Peaks, and we're looking over towards Howe Sound Crest. I think that one is Windsor. It's so cool being able to connect territory. I mean, it'd take a long time to get over there. It may not even be passable, but there's the Howe Sound over there, and that goes to the right to Squamish, and that's the way we came this morning via car on the Sea to Sky Highway. Smart, doing some eating. We are maybe just past that tarn looking at Gordon Peak, so maybe we'll go tag our first little one.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
That sure is. It is a little bit unknown. How far? 500. In that direction?
Yeah.
That's pretty close to 500 meters. I'd say that's probably it.
Or just get over there. But I mean, it's open enough you can just make your own trail.
Yeah, exactly.
Today has been relatively free of bushwhacking, which is often a feature of peak bagging when you're in the more obscure peaks. But I have a feeling we'll probably have to do a little bit.
Oh.
John's pulling on some blueberry bushes to get up. The others are marching along. Oh my word. Look at this. This is beautiful. Sun on the Howe Crest. That looks pretty peakish to me. What do you think? Look like an eagle. So we will scramble our way up there one way or another and tag the first of our peaks of the day. It's funny, you get to the top of this thing and it's lovely, but it's more about the trip to get there than actually being up at the peak and celebrating. A lot of these in Vancouver, there's a subculture of putting a stash of fine whiskey somewhere at the top of these. And if you know where it is and you're kind of good for a bit of a hunt, sometimes it's in a container or it's got a little thing with it. These are the prizes. Oh yeah, I would say so. Good eye. Yeah, that one's a bigger one over there. So we go to the tallest, of course. Oh, so exciting! It is good to be
4 hours, and this is our first peak.
Out today. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're about 4 hours in right now. We're not sure exactly how far the day is going to be. Someone said 25K. We managed to add a few K to that with our detour.
Well, I'm at 16 right now.
You're at 16K?
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe we'll be over 30K today because we got to go back. Huh. Oh no, but we're missing 2 miles, so we're missing 3. So you're at 13K.
Well, it's back, yeah.
Wow, look at this.
Woo! Oh, this is what we've seen pictures of.
Pictures of this court or whatever.
Yes, the court. Oh, this is a lap pool.
Yeah, no kidding.
Look at this. This is a freaking lap pool.
Is this the infinity lap pool everybody talks about?
Yeah. And luckily we got John, king of the skinny dippers, up there, ready to go. What a...
Too far to swim.
You can just run down straight in. Look at this. This might be worth pulling out the drone again for a shot here, if it's controllable right now. I'm a little nervous. This is lovely. Then you'll find someone's left some trail food around, and there's some fine power bars here. That is a close-up of 100% buried bear poo there. But it's pretty much what a Cliff Bar looks like to me, and it's just about as appealing. Well, where we were must have just been the bear swimming hole. What a beautiful area. We're heading over to climb that thing. We're not exactly sure where the second peak is. That's obviously the third one. That's Capilano. And we'll have to catch Beth on the way back, figuring out how to get up there. Since there's no apparent trail. The main peak is Capilano, the one we were just at. What was the one we were just at called again?
That was Gordon.
Gordon.
With an A.
Huh. Gordon. John is sniffing out the cairns on the way. Look at this. Oh, there's the little lake down there. Oh, man down. You okay?
Yeah, they came very close to a head smash. Gordon Lake. Gordon Lake.
Wow.
Which I thought was going to be a lot further down, but it's actually closer than I thought it would be.
Wow.
Okay, where's the next cairn?
There's a flag to the right.
Oh, thank goodness.
There are a fantastic selection of cairns around here. I'm not sure there is a route per se, but this is definitely a path that's traveled on occasion. And another cairn seems to be taking us to the top of the little one, and then Capilano will be our third, the big one. My whole body is feeling pretty fresh from the dip. And cairn again. So with these peak bagging missions, there's a tendency to group peaks. And this one is not exactly in the middle of the trail, so I almost missed it. Oh, he's coming down! Good Lord, man!
I always have it. It may not be that close.
So this was a pretty quick little diversion. Here's the official peak cairn. Oh, wow, this gives you a nice view of, oh, we got a picture opportunity here too of Gordon.
It's not as,
Look at this.
maybe it is as big as the other one, but
This is lovely. We are in a very steep section, but it's still pretty good. There's vegetation. Ellie is powering through up there. Here we are. A little ways to go to the summit still. And Capilano, when we get up, will be, it's like the grandmother summit of this little section. There's other peaks that we hit, but that's clearly the big mama. Just cranking away, working and working. There's a certain mode you get into when you're going up, just relentlessly grinding up, up, up. And it always seems like there's another summit and another false summit and another one. Then when you get to the actual summit, it kind of sneaks up on you and you think, what, is that it? So rare to see your summit the whole way. But we're coming up to a place we can't see further than. Just wondering if it's another false summit. We will see. Usually when you get to the top of a major one like this, there's some kind of cairn built up. Because they don't see it, I don't trust that we're at the top. Even though it looks like it's quite close. Oh, I see it right over there. And we are just about there. Look at this. Ellie's gonna go conquer it. Be the first of the Peak Bagger challenge to ever tag the top. The cairn was built by cavemen who weren't in the challenge several millennia ago. But here we go. Look at this. Oh yeah. Can't quite see the lake down here, but
No.
good job, Susan.
Well done.
Good job, Ellie. Ooh. Look at this. It's not so bad. You can from right there, yeah. Woo! Susan has found the summit register in a weatherproof case that has been eaten open. If we look around, somewhere, there's probably some whiskey somewhere, but nobody's got any idea where it is, so not that we care, but it's sort of a neat little Easter egg to find. There's a little cairn here. That might indicate the presence of... Aha!
Oh, you found whiskey?
I might have. Let's see. Here is... I have no idea what this is. Yeah. I am not sure what we have just found. But I will open it up. It's not whiskey, that's for sure. Again, could care less, but... Oh! Do you know what's wrapped up in the shirt? The bottle of Jameson. If anybody wants it. And the notebook. High class quality. Look at that. So guess who's the last entry is here? Ian Action Jackson. A great day for naked snow angels. Ian, good Lord. But I can see you doing that. We'll put our names in too. Bill has stuck that little bit of whiskey. It's not urine, I promise you.
I've had some of it.
He's hitting.
There was more than that.
So someone has represented and has had a little bit of the whiskey. Well done. Put that away for the next people.
Looks like it's due for a refill as well, eh?
No. Just talking about people getting away to do this type of thing when it takes pretty much the full day on a weekend. And it takes a tolerant family to put up with that on a regular basis. So we're missing Pat today, who's probably, he's been to the peak before, so he doesn't have to tag that one off for his quest to be a completist. And we are just scrambling down, looking for the right route, which we are probably not on.
I actually even see a flag on that. We forgot.
Oh yeah, we can go down here.
An alternate route, so that's...
Yeah, here it is. Making up a new way.
This might be tricky. This one might be tricky.
We like trickies.
Should we go around?
Oh, wow, isn't that a fortunate little bump in the rock right there that I didn't even know was...
Are diverging from our track down this time to head down to Gordon Lake, and I think we're just in this bouldery scree field for a while down to the lake, and then we head over to Beth Peak. So it's a lot of route finding choices that you can do back here. You just try and avoid coming to a point where there's cliff, imminent doom, ridiculous brush to get through. And scree fields are usually pretty good because they obviously have a bit of a downhill, but not insane downhill. Some of them can be steep, but depending on the type of rock, usually can work your way through. And it's just a question of good foot placements as you're going. Oh, what a beautiful spot. You come to these places that are just so gorgeous. Look at this. I might have to have a shot here. Susan or Bill. We're coming from there to here. And we just came down from up there. And this actually has got...
Do you think that's where rocks we are?
No.
Yes. An effort to not go down that little ways to the lake We are hugging this cliff and going through boulders and attempting to not lose too much elevation. It is a fun route, I will give it that, but it might not be the fastest route, all things considered, but it is fun.
Where's John?
He's with us. No.
Well, I tried. Probably halfway up that. I got clipped out.
So we're off any trail at the moment, trying to figure out if that is the top or that's the top. So we don't know which one the top is.
We're pretty much pointing the right way.
So I guess we're just gonna go up and see.
It's gonna be hard to get through that one.
We're just coming barely up the hill and we look down and like, holy jeez, it's a freaking chasm.
How far back is it going?
Well, we'll just retreat down until we can get across. This is like
Just right there.
Yeah.
this is where you set up the high line, slack line, right here across this. This would be a spot. Oh my God, this is like the coolest high line thing here. Apparently, there looks like just below a little ways, a route to cross without having to go down all the way into the chasm. Oh my God, look at this. We hardly had to go anywhere to find this. And this is actually a path that we're on right now. So they're going over to look into the gaping chasm of doom. Look at this. Oh my God, look at that. Holy mac. You know what? Well, maybe not.
Well, it does look like.
We have just found the top. This is freaking sheer. That is straight down. Probably 700-800 feet.
Somebody already put the cairn.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Quite a shelf over there.
God dang, look at this.
Wow, what a view.
So this is our fourth peak. That much closer.
Awesome, thanks. Okay, coming along.
Objective accomplished. And that's the little cairn. And it drops straight off. It's like as sheer as you can possibly be without actually overhanging. Wow, what a beautiful spot. Highly, highly recommend. This whole route has been pretty special, actually. All 4 peaks are pretty spectacular. The first one for that amazing swimming pool on the quartz triangular wall. The next one with the look over that lake. And then Capilano with a view of everything. And then this one that looks just straight down to Beth Lake. Just past 3. And we are heading down on a bit of a mission. There's a little bit of mist and a few raindrops in the air. I don't think it'll get very bad, but we're trying to get down to the lake now. Re-water, chill for a minute, and then it'll probably be a straight haul back. But had our success in hitting the peaks that we wanted to hit, and now just got to make it safely back to the car. I don't think we'll quite be home by dinner, but maybe just after. Well, we got off the steep stuff just about, I think, and we are getting close to where it joins the trail where we saw those bikes originally. We've got a little ways to go till we hit that, and then it's a nice run back of, I don't know, what about 6-7K, something like that. 3-4 miles. 4 miles probably to get back. But it's a really nice little danceable trail. Well, what time is it? 3:54 o'clock. So we're 9 hours in at the moment. It's about par for the course. We should finish in just around 10, I'm guessing. This has been perfect descent. Just a nice shallow incline to keep it from feeling like work while you're running at the end of the day. I'm 16 miles in. Probably just be hitting roughly 20 at the end. And it is a blessing to be out doing this kind of stuff with a good group of people who are capable and good sense of humor. Nobody's got to worry too much about anybody else. Stay safe. It's a nice day. And this trail just goes on for quite a ways until we hit the road. About to join back up to the Forest Service Road or whatever it is. So 4K to go. Good work, everybody. Hee-hee. So turned into a little bit of gentle rain. Running the last couple miles. There's a blackberry bush coming up soon, which is going to distract me for a minute. But it's nice on the PeakBagging because you go up all day. Ooh, yeah, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Look at that. Wow. The smell the barn, pick up the pace at the end, downhill. This is the end of my 4-month odyssey, the great virtual race across Tennessee. It's August 30th. It started May 1st, and I've been running every day since then. And the idea was to get across Tennessee, 635 miles. Lots of people did doubles, including Ellie up there. I got my double done a little earlier than I thought, so hit the triple. Thought what the next big mile marker was, benchmark, and it was 2,000 miles, which I will hit right down here almost perfectly at the yellow gate. So I will do an obligatory finish dance at that point. Here it is, the first person we've seen on the trail all day. Hello. And this is the end of my 4-month hard ass work, completing 2,020 miles, 16 and a half miles a day. Here it is, the yellow gate.
Good job.
Here, hold that bill for a sec. I got to do a
2020.
finish dance.
Oh
You
yeah.
got the thing, the camera. How short can you? That's it. The end of the great virtual race across Tennessee. Tomorrow is a victory lap, but I've hit 2,020 miles in 2020. This is my yellow gate. It's not in Frozen Head or Tennessee, but this is my end of the race.
Congratulations.
Dance. Woo, dance. Woo.